Alright, so we back with another video. Today we got y'all boys with another coach video. Today we're going to be re-ranking the head coaches. Last time I did it, yeah, things that happened, so we got to re-rank them. And we got more things that we've seen to be able to make this video as accurate as possible. So yeah, if y'all do want more, go ahead and like the video. I didn't expect that long of a pause. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe if you're new. Further ado, let's hop into it. Alright, so hopping into it, we got the tiers. Real football coaches, missing something, elite guru, I don't know yet, mid, trash. The missing something is literally just there to be in between elite guru and real football coaches because there is literally a gap between the two. And there's some guys that fit in between the two, to be real. So let's get it going. First quarterback, we got Zach Taylor. I'm not even going to waste too much time on it. I don't know how bro has had a job this long. If I'm real, I think the Bengals do this. They just do this when it comes to their coaches. They just keep guys for way too long. They overstay their welcome. You see how mad the players was in that game, bro. I don't really know what he does. Like, the team scores points. Is it because of him? No, it's not. Like, the scheme is bad. The play calling is bad. The design is bad. Like, it's just what it is. Like, I don't really know what to tell you. Yeah, Zach Taylor, I just don't really get it. And the fact that he's still there all this time, even when they made it to Super Bowl, like, what did Zach Taylor do? The year before that, what did he do? What did he do after it? Like, I don't know what he does. Like, bro is supposed to be an offensive guru, and he doesn't really do anything for the offense. Like, I don't really get it. But, yeah, Brian Callahan, he's already fired. It's not really much to talk about here. Titans coach, he was bad. Kind of feel bad for Titans fans because they go from Mike Vrabel to this. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to get any better anytime soon either. Then you got the Jets coach, Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn it's early for bro. It's not looking good. He had a good win. Who was that against? The Bengals? And that's another one of those where I'm like, bro, if you a Bengals offensive player, you kind of got to be, bro, y'all are losing to the Jets like that. Nah, that Bengals loss that they had to the Bears is hilarious, though. I'm not going to lie. Because the Bengals was up. Oh, I think they were they not? No, the Bears was up all game. They come back at the last, like, 3 minutes of the game, get an onside kick to take the lead. It's not like they took the lead just for the defense to go out there with a minute left. Caleb literally trolls the first 2 plays. The next 2 plays, they get a touchdown. Like, yeah, bro. Yeah, Bengals, man. I'm sorry. Now, I won't lie. I don't even know if that's his fault. I don't really blame him for this. I won't cap. But Aaron Glenn getting that win is looking a little different in the light now because it's like, bro, the Bengals just find ways to lose. But that's one of those situations where it's a team that finds ways to lose versus a team that finds ways to lose. So I don't know how much credit to give it, but I'm going to give him a little bit of credit because that is just a very... Honestly, I don't know if I can, bro. This is supposed to be a defensive guru, and this is a team with a lot of defensive talent. And they don't play good defense. Now, I won't lie. They had a good game against the Broncos, I believe. Outside of that, though, low-key. Outside of that, though, what did they do? I don't know if they did anything. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if this defense has done anything outside of that one game. So, with that being said, I guess they also did have a pretty solid game against the Panthers. But they still lost that game. The game that they had the games they had good defense, they lost. The games they had bad defense still, they won. That probably might have... No, that was the most points they had scored against them the whole season. They won that game. Yeah, the Jets are very, very wild. Aaron Glenn is supposed to be a defensive-minded coach that they don't really play defense. Coming out the bye, they got a winnable game, I guess, against the Browns, but the Browns actually have a good defense. So maybe not. Pete Carroll with the Raiders. Honestly, didn't really understand the hiring of Pete Carroll. I think it's just an outdated coach. He got fired from the Seahawks for a reason. But honestly, that 2-point conversion decision at the end, I completely understand it because you win the game, you can convince yourself that you got a chance to get back into this playoff hunt. You lose that game, you kind of know your season's over because look at the games they finna play. They finna play Denver next week. They play Dallas the week after that. That's probably 2 losses. Then you play Cleveland. That's a winnable game. Chargers, Denver, Philly, Houston. Those are all losses. Those are all losses, brother. So you lose this game, you pretty much know already. Yeah, well, let's just go ahead and get another high pick in that draft. So you got your running back, you got your tight end. Now we know we probably need to be focusing on other positions, in my opinion. Brock Bowers was ridiculous in this game. I think Pete Carroll going and making that decision at the end to either go for the win or just losing, forgetting the tie, because the tie does nothing for them. All it does is if they do have a bad season, that's gonna lose them a lot of tiebreakers at the end of the season when it comes to trying to have a higher pick. So you might as well just get the L or the win. And yeah, they lost. So I would say mid. I don't think he's been good, but I don't think he's been bad. I just think he's had a very tough situation. He was part of the decision in terms of getting Geno, to my knowledge. So yeah. Yeah. But Geno actually had a pretty good week this past week. Raheem Morris, honestly, I thought he has had some pretty solid games. He's had some production, but when I did this video, I seen a lot of the Falcons fans in the comments talking about he is a terrible coach. And before this season, I thought he was a terrible coach. He was a terrible coach last year. He was a terrible coach before all the other times he was a head coach. And yeah, I just think this team just has talent now, but they don't really get anything out of it. I think the DC is actually better than him. I don't know, like, Raheem Morris is supposed to be a defensive-minded guy, but his DC is better than him. How does that situation work? I ain't gonna lie, that don't really make too much sense to me. But I think they actually had a pretty good game this week against the Patriots. I think they kind of did get bailed out by Jalen Walker getting that sack on Maye, and Maye just not protecting the football, to be real. So I think that's just what it is. And I think when he had those timeouts to start the drive, and now the Patriots finna keep driving down the field, I went over that in the team video. I'm not gonna go over it again in terms of all that stuff that happened there. I think he just got bailed out in that situation, and it worked out for him, where probably shouldn't have. And that did change the game. It did, because of the sack that happened like 5 plays, not 5, but like 2 or 3 plays after he had already blown 2 timeouts. So we'll see, but for the most part, he's had a pretty up and down season. I would probably say mid. Next we got McDaniel. I think he's an elite guru. He's just not a head coach. He's an elite guru. I don't think he's missing something. I don't know yet. He's just not a head coach, man. It's just what it is. And that's okay. Sirianni, literally no clue what he does. Actually, no clue. Bro, they lose an offensive-minded coordinator. They lose Steichen. Offense plummets. Next season after the offensive plummets, they get Kellen Moore. Offense goes back up. They lose Kellen Moore. The offense plummets in terms of the scheme and play calling. Now, they still have pretty good production. If you remember the year that offense plummeted, at the end of the season, that's when you started to feel it, especially in that first playoff game. So we'll see. It could be a repeat, but it's just, I think that was kind of more so like the Super Bowl loss thing, where they had the Super Bowl in the bank. They kind of already have a lot of these same issues. If you think about that was going on last year and the year before with all these different talks about passing game and all that. It's already been started with that, so I don't know. But Sirianni, what does he do? I've heard people say he's a leader. Bro, they have so much bad stuff going on in that locker room for a team that wins. I don't even know how you could even say that about him. Bro, he doesn't do the defense. He doesn't do the offense. What the hell does he do? What does he do? Okay, then we got Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski, I actually like him as a coach. I think he's a guru. I don't know if he's an elite guru. So I would say mid. I'll say mid, personally. I don't think he's just been good enough to get the job done. I think the defensive coordinator is probably better than he is as a coach, but I do think they also just have better defensive. It's kind of tough to say that as well, because if he had the offensive, I guess, talent that he has defensively, maybe it'd be a different story. But they really have no offensive talent compared to the defense. So it's not really much of a discussion there. So maybe he is elite guru. It's just that you don't have the talent to do it. Because I would genuinely say he's an elite guru. He actually might be missing something, because I actually like him as a head coach in terms of all that stuff. It's just, he also got coach of the year twice too. Like, he's a good coach. It's just, they just don't have a good team. Like, they have a good defense. They don't have a good offense. That means they probably don't have a good team. So I don't know. He might be missing something because he's a better offensive coach than McDaniels. But is he a better? He's a better overall coach, but he's not a better offensive coach. If that makes sense. He's not better at scheming, play call, play design as McDaniels is. So maybe mid. He's either missing something or mid. I don't think he's an elite guru. Brian Daboll is a elite guru. He's an elite guru. I think McDaniels, again, is better, though. I think McDaniels is better. But Brian Daboll does. He just knows how to get production, no matter what's out there. So that's a weird one. I actually like Brian Daboll. That's a weird one. Then we got Shane Steichen. This is the epitome of missing something. He's a clear elite guru. I don't know if he's all the way a real football coach yet. That's what we call him missing something. It's like being a 9 out of 10 right now. You know what I'm saying? A 9 or an 8 out of 10. I just don't know what's missing, but it's something missing. You know what I'm saying? You listen to it, how you like, it's not perfect. It's just something missing. You know, it's just one of those situations. Then you got Ben Johnson. Won't lie, Ben Johnson looking like a real football coach, but it's just something missing, man. I gotta keep it a bean. It's something missing. I ain't gonna lie, this is gonna be a weird, bad tier list. I can already tell, but it makes sense. It low-key makes sense, though. Hey, see? Sean McDermott is bro, this is a clear missing. I'm gonna put him behind, because what he's missing is clear. In the playoffs, he has to get it done versus the Chiefs. Now, I think I know what the missing something is. I don't think it's really a coaching issue, personally. I think what's missing is a clear-cut offensive mind, the same caliber as him, as some of like the top-tier offensive mind coaches that are real football coaches. Like, when you think of LaFleur, he went and got a defensive coach that's as good as him. You think of McVay, he's lost his defensive guy multiple times. Shanahan, he's lost his defensive guy multiple times. He replaces those guys consistently, and they're still very good at that. I think McDermott needs to get. I like Joe Brady. Is he as good at offense as McDermott is defensively? No. And I think that's what it really does come down to. But in the playoffs, I don't even know if McDermott's scheme is to the same level as it is in the regular season. It's really just against the Chiefs. I think the scheme is pretty solid every other team but the Chiefs. We haven't seen them really play any NFC teams because he never made the Super Bowl because of the Chiefs. So it really just comes down to, can they do what they just did this week to the Chiefs offensively in the playoffs? Because for the most part, they shut down that offense. And that was an offense that was looking like arguably the best offense in football. So I'm going to say real football coach, because I don't think it's really his fault. I think it's more so a talent. I think offensively, Josh Allen, he just needs a little help, maybe a better scheme. But you could say he does have Josh Allen, though. Yeah, missing something. Yeah, I got missing something all over it. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I tried to get you there, bro. I couldn't. All right, next we got Gannon. I actually like Gannon a lot. I think he might be missing something, but I'm going to go elite guru. He's a great defensive mind. I even think he got the right offensive mind. He's just not to that level yet of those guys and missing something, in my opinion. It's just, hey, it's something missing. Hey, missing something. I ain't going to lie. Hey, it may be a lot of missing somethings on this one. Cohen actually looking like a pretty solid coach so far, man. I won't lie. I'm actually liking Cohen as a coach. I knew he was going to be pretty good as a guru. But he actually looked like he may be a real football coach. He's getting wins. Some pretty big wins already this year, if you think about it. He might be a real football coach. But he's not. He's better than Gannon. That's the thing. So, yeah, Gannon, you got to come down. And you come down. And, yeah. All right, next we got Kellen Moore. That's a clear, I would say clear elite guru. Not even really much to debate there. Next you got Kevin O'Connell. Before this, I would have probably said elite guru missing something, because this year they hadn't been to the level, but I think they're gonna get going a little run. I'm gonna say real football coach, quarterback whisperer, best quarterback coach in the league. And he got his defensive coach that's on the level of him with Brian Flores. He knows what he's doing over there in terms of being a head coach, and I think he's a good leader. So yeah, I think real football coach for him for sure. Dave Canales. I actually like Dave Canales. To be real, I don't even think he's as much of an elite guru as he is a good football coach. I think he's a better football coach than he is an elite guru. I think he's just finding ways to be competitive, and now he's finding ways to win games. Like, he was finding ways to be competitive at the end of last year. Now he's finding ways to finish the job. That's signs of being a real football coach. I'm gonna say missing something for him. I think he's actually a really good coach because I don't think this Panthers team is that good. And they're getting some big wins against some good teams at this point. Like, they beat the Packers. They beat the Cowboys. Those are some pretty big wins, in my opinion. But maybe those teams are just a little overrated, which may be true. But yeah. Next, we got DeMeco Ryans. I think DeMeco Ryans, similar to some of these gurus, he just hasn't got that defensive-minded guy to go on the other side of them yet. He hasn't figured that offensive-minded guy to go on the other side of him in terms of what he got going on defensively. But you also could say similar things to what I said about McDermott with DeMeco, but I don't think it's to the same level. I think DeMeco has actually had pretty good defensive performances in the playoffs, but he also has way more talent defensively than McDermott. I'm gonna say missing something. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna say missing something. Because Canales better than him? Because Canales don't got nowhere near the team the Texans got. Nowhere near the team. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That's a tough one. That's actually a tough one. Shanahan, real football coach. I think he's in the... he might be the front runner right now for coach of the year, bro. You think about what that 49ers team dealing with this year with the injuries. I think that's the best coach team on both sides of the football. They got Robert Saleh back. He got somebody as on the level of him offensively. Defensively now, it's going to be... That's a team, bro. If they get healthy, the 49ers, they always been talked about how talented they are. If that team can get healthy, that could be a team that could really be shocking teams in the playoffs. But right now, I think that's probably my leading candidate for coach of the year. Todd Bowles. I think Todd Bowles has done a great job this year. I think Todd Bowles has actually done a great job this year. Think about it, though. Last 2 years, Dave Canales left. Cohen left. Offense still ain't really missed the beat. I'm gonna go real football coach. That is a real football coach at this point. But I think he also has just found his quarterback as well, to be real. Maybe it's just he found his quarterback. Maybe not so much. I mean, those coordinators are pretty good. I don't know if Canales is as good as people thought he was. I think those quarterbacks are just pretty good, though. In terms of, I don't think Canales is as good of an offensive mind as people thought, or I thought he was leaving there, but I think he's actually a really good football coach, though, in general. I think Cohen may be the better offensive mind. Cohen actually pretty good this year in terms of winning games, too, though, so I don't know. That's a really tough one. I may got to throw Cohen up there. I think he just need more time. Schottenheimer in that convo with Shanahan, but I think as they're getting healthier and they lost last week kind of badly, the offense really brought nothing to the table. But the margin for error that him and that offense has, but they have no DC. Elite Guru. I'm going to say Elite Guru. They have no DC. Their defensive coordinator is bad. I don't know how bad the defensive coordinator is, but there is some pretty bad play design, play calls that they do defensively. It's just some bad things that they do. I don't know about design. I would say it's pretty bad things that they try to do schematically, defensively, that I don't like. So I would say they don't really have the talent to really do anything. Cause it's not really a redeeming quality anywhere on that defense. The DBs, the linebackers, the linemen. I won't lie. There is a linebacker I low-key do like on the Cowboys, but not making up for the whole linebacking unit. He's not making up for the edge unit. He's not making up for the interior run. He's not making up for a lot. So yeah. Then we got now baby Belichick. He for sure real football coach. He said, Ryan Grubb, you good, but I need something better. And I was doubting that decision. My hands are up. And he cooked. He absolutely cooked with that one. So I can't even lie. He cooked with that one. I'm going to say, real football coach, defensively, it was him and Brian Flores. It's him. Him and only him. I don't think there's nobody on the level of him. What he's doing, like, it's clear. Bro, the issues I have with the Cowboys, I love everything that the Seahawks do defensively. I love everything. I don't even think they have crazy talent defensively. I think a lot of it is scheme. I'll be real. So yeah, I think, bro, I said this when they let him go to the Seahawks. I think the Ravens, they looking at this like, bro, we really should have done. I seen a lot of Ravens fans even saying it now, and I was called a madman because they were like, John Harbaugh does this every year. He gets to the playoffs. He gets deep into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Even at the Super Bowl. And I'm like, bro, though, it might just be outdated at this point, though. Like, he may be one of these guys that can get you that far, but he can't get you over the top anymore. Just outdated. We'll see, though. That take starting to age pretty well. I ain't gonna lie, but hey. And I said before the season, I don't know yet because I said we'll see. With Lions coach Dan Campbell, he lost his offensive coordinator. He lost his defensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator has just been bad. A lot of people trying to say with the injuries in the playoffs last year, he might just be bad. Ben Johnson is obviously good. It hasn't mattered. Now, against the Chiefs, it mattered. Against the Vikings, it might have mattered. Maybe in these big games, because you think about it, against the Packers, start the season, it low-key mattered. I think the Lions got the most talented team in football, but for the most part, they've been pretty good on both sides. We'll see how many more of these big games they lose, and then we'll have a convo. But for now, I'm going to say he's a real football coach. I'm going to say he's a real football coach, personally, because for the most part, he's a great leader of men. It really just comes down to, is he going to be able to keep swapping out these coordinators and be good at it? It seems like he's been pretty solid at it. We'll see, though. We'll see. McVay, I don't think there's much of a conversation here. Just like one of the best offensive minds in football. Completely just keeps getting his defensive coordinators taken away, whether they're good or bad. Just filling guys in regardless, and they just fill in role and just do that good. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of these defensive coordinators that leave are not good head coaches. I don't know why people keep taking them, but they're not good. I think really what McVay does is kind of similar to what Shanahan does, where they have a scheme in mind they want the defense to play like, and they get defensive coordinators that fit, that have like-minded tendencies, I guess you could say. I think Shanahan does that. I don't know if McVay does that fully. I think he does somewhat of that. I don't know if he gets the like-minded part, though, to be real. Then we got LaFleur. LaFleur, I would say, I think LaFleur is kind of carrying that offense. I think the reason why a lot of people think Jay Love is in these convos that they think he's in is a lot to do with LaFleur. I don't think that offense has been as good as it should be. To be honest, I think a lot has to do more so with Jay Love this year, personally. I'm a big advocate for Jay Love in the past, but this year I don't think Jay Love has been as good as people act like, personally, watching them. I think the game this week was a very big indicator to that. And yeah. Next, we got Mike Tomlin. Now, this may be the hardest one to rank on this list because it don't matter what is on Mike Tomlin's team. That brother is making the playoffs every single season. He's making the playoffs. It's not even a debate. It's not a discussion. He's making the playoffs. What is the issue with Mike Tomlin is when he get to the playoffs. He's making the playoffs. That's not even a Mike Tomlin issue. That's another one of those McDermotts where it's like, yeah, he's making the playoffs, and he don't even have a quarterback. This brother got like 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. This is probably the best quarterback he's had since Big Ben left. And even then, Big Ben, by the time he left, he was washed. And when he had Big Ben, the defense wasn't good. Yeah. I think this is a situation where he's taking teams. I think he's kind of hurting the team. Low-key. This is low-key a hot take. He might be so good. He might be so good of a floor raiser for a team that he's hurting a team like the Steelers that need high picks. They need talent. They're not drafting that well. They're getting rid of talent that they have drafted well in terms of George Pickens. That was a great pick. He's played phenomenally with the Cowboys, and they looking crazy trading him. I'm going to be real. Mike Tomlin may be holding the Steelers back, but he's a phenomenal coach. He's a real football coach. I can't even try to get that one off. He's a real football coach. I don't know if I can put him over McVay. I'm going to put McVay above LaFleur. I don't know if he's over any of those guys above him, though. Because at the end of the day, he's so good that the team don't really have the draft picks. They don't pick in the areas to be able to get that top-end talent that you really want as a Steelers fan. Like, they got to hit on those later picks that they get like they did with the Antonio Browns, like they did with the Le'Veon Bells. They just haven't been doing that as much. But we'll see. And they also put a lot of money into their defense, too. So, we'll see. I think they just got to start going all in on offense in these drafts. But I don't even think the defense is good enough for how much money they put in on that defense, to be real. But, yeah. Next, we got Andy Reid. I don't really know what the combo is. Off the fact that they make the Super Bowl every year. He does have Pat Mahomes. You think about the other side, the defensive coordinator is just as good as him, if not better. Bro, Andy Reid, he just has his team built the right way, and they play the right way. They probably have the best play calling in the league. I don't know if you can say situational. They're probably one of the better teams in the league. They're always gonna be good for every third down. They have the right play on the field. They gonna have, bro. It's kind of funny that he used to be like known as like the worst time management coach in the league, and then he gets Pat Mahomes, and now he's like the best situational coach in the league. So some of this stuff is about the players you do have. So he has won some Super Bowls, but I'm gonna put him here. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna put him there. Dan Quinn. I don't think Dan Quinn has been bad. He's had a very bad situation this year. I think he's an elite guru. I put him at the top. Their season's over. They need to just start losing games. Their season is over. It's just that simple. Then we got Mike Vrabel. I think because we have the past experience with Vrabel, I think you got to put him at least real football coach. This brother was winning playoff games with Ryan Tannehill against Lamar Jackson. You got to give Mike Vrabel some credit there, bro. He was winning playoff games against Lamar Jackson with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. So, yeah. Derrick Henry was out there, though. But, like, Derrick Henry on a lot of teams wouldn't be enough just to win playoff games. A good defense and Derrick, low-key, though. Especially if we talking about peak prime Derrick. I don't know. But, nah. Come on, bro. MVP Lamar, too? Come on, bro. Stop it. And he was having competitive games with the Chiefs in them years, too. So, yeah, I would say you gotta give Mike Vrabel a lot of credit for what he has done in the past in the playoffs, but to go from 4-3 to 4-3 to already winning 6 wins on the season, gotta give Mike Vrabel a lot of credit. I do think it's a little overrated. I think this team kind of does go as far as Drake may take them offensively, and defensively this team goes as far as Gonzo takes them. If either one of those teams play dip, they get injured, it's a different team. It's a completely different team, different situation. It's just what it is. And I'm saying if Drake May don't play like the level he's playing at, based off how I put him in that tier list, this is not a 6-2 team at all. I'm not even gonna lie. Because there's games where he had to play perfect and we barely won. And there's games where he actually started making more mistakes and we still won. So I'm starting to see like his play low-key can dip a tad bit. Gonzo can miss him. Our team is starting to still win those games that we would have lost last year. So I'm like, yeah, Mike Vrabel for sure. Definitely an impact. But is it, yeah. Then we got Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton is a clear indicator of a coach that's missing something, but he's still a real football coach. I think the defensive coordinator is better than Sean Payton, but this is another one of those situations where he may just have that defensive coordinator has way more talent than the offense has for Sean Payton to work with. But I do think the offensive line is probably the strongest piece of the offense, and that's a good thing to build off of. If you look at the Colts, that's another team that did that. So, but they also have JT, where Broncos don't have anything close to that JT. So, that's a tough one. I would say for the Sean Payton, I would put him here probably. I'll probably put him there. Harbaugh. I actually like Harbaugh. He's had a very interesting season so far, though. I would say rocky start. The other Harbaugh, I think that's a missing something situation. I think the Miko, McDermott, they get more out of that situation than Harbaugh has. But I don't think it's been Harbaugh's fault in the playoffs. I think it's more so Lamar has not played to the same level. If Lamar plays to the same level in the regular season, I don't know if it really matters, to be real. And I don't think in the playoffs, Harbaugh has let them down, to be real. I think it's really been the players. Like, last year, Lamar didn't have the greatest playoffs, but also Mark, even with how bad Lamar was in that game, Mark Andrews just could hold on to the ball. They probably still win. That's just how good of a team they've had the last 2 years, the Ravens. So, I don't know. I'm going to say missing something, and that's my coach tier list, It probably, I'm going to be around. Adding that missing something didn't really do too much to it, because there still wasn't that many people under Elite Guru. But for the most part, that's my coach tier list. I think it's a lot more good than bad coaches in the league, but the coaches that are bad, you can see the difference between them and those coaches that's in that higher echelon. So yeah, y'all do one more. Like the video. Hopefully you like the video. Subscribe. All that good stuff out the way. It's your boy Fitz. I'm about to be man.
Tell them to bring me my money. Yeah!